Hi, this is Wishop. This is your weekday reading for February 16th, Monday through February 20th, Friday. And wow, what a week. This could be the week that you've been waiting for. It is exceptional in almost every way. So let me get to some of the big movements first. There's a new moon in Aquarius in the last degree of Aquarius. So that symbolizes new moon, where we tend to make new moon intentions, wishes for things we'd like to manifest. But because it's the last degree of Aquarius, it also symbolizes a finishing up of things, a letting go, which is sort of continues the theme, and you're going to see it again. From February 19th to February 20th, Mars will leave Pisces, where it's been with Venus. It's going to enter Aries, very much its home sign, very much a powering up kind of energy, and Venus is going to follow it. So this male-female sort of making peace, the divine feminine and the divine masculine together, which has been doing its work in Pisces, is now moving into Aries to do the same kind of balancing work. So it's fantastic. February 19th is the Chinese New Year, which is the year of the sheep. Again, Aries is, of course, the ram or the goat at times, and it's seen as a very fiery masculine energy. It's a cardinal sign, so it's a trailblazer, new beginnings. It's the first house of the Western zodiac. The Chinese New Year is sheep, also thought of as ram and goat, but the Chinese New Year sheep is a very much more refined energy. It's an energy of intelligence, gentleness, elegance, wisdom. So again, we see this balancing of the fiery masculine energy with the receptive feminine energy, which is really just a ripe environment for dreams to come true and for new dreams to be born. So let me get to the dice I rolled this week. It's crazy. Okay. Heaven over heaven. Number one, creative power. So what this symbolizes, I pulled this card to show you. This is the Magician in the Reflections Tarot. So you can see he's got all the tools. He is at the very beginning, well, not the very beginning, because it's actually very interesting, but he's got all the tools he needs to manifest his will. But let me show you the rest of the numbers so we can talk a little more about that. We've got 2, 2, and 4, 4, 6, and 4. So you can see the predominance of the 4s, also the 2. So the top numbers roll up, and let me get this up here so you can see these cards. The top numbers roll up to 8, which in this deck is justice. Now, I didn't think about the fact that this is a taut deck before I pulled it to sort of show you the I Ching numbers. So the fact that it's justice and not strength just happens to be because of this deck, but I was kind of pulling it instinctively. Anyway, 8, justice, balance, right? The lower trigrams dice add up to 14, temperance. Hey, what is that? It's balance again. And when I add them all up together, I get 22. As you may know, 21 is the last card of the major arcana, but there are 22, which makes the 22nd card of the major arcana 0, the Fool, the very beginning. So here we are with this Fool energy, and we talked about finishing last weekend with a sense of childlike wonder, very much the Fool kind of energy. And the Fool is that before anything. This Fool is, especially in this deck, is a really kind of mixed figure. He's got this, flowing hair and sideburns and a little chin beard and a big skirt. And he's a little bit representing every sort of potential that there could possibly be. And that's the state that we're at this week, which is so exciting. And it's going to lead to this amazing creative energy. And let me get this back down here so I can put the Magician back, because that's really what we're looking at. We're looking at this amazing creative energy, and I'm going to read just a tiny bit from number 1 in the Tao Te Ching. The nameless is the beginning of heaven and earth. So the Fool, 0, the nameless, is the beginning of heaven and earth, but the next step is the magician, where everything can be manifested, where everything can be done. Let me see if I can get this more in focus. Nope, that's as in focus as he's going to get. So what I think is interesting here is that we have a lot that we're working on and a lot that's possible. But the challenge of the week, with heaven over heaven, with sword energy over sword energy, air over air, is not to get too caught up in mental wrangling with ourselves. So I pulled 3 random cards from the Shadowscapes tarot deck, which is a gorgeous deck. And I'm going to show you those up here. There we go. Let's see if I can get this happening. Can you see these? So what's interesting, these 3 random cards, I got the Knight of Swords in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, and the 6 of Swords upright. So the Knight of Swords in reverse is always a message to me: don't rush, don't panic, don't let anxiety overtake you. The Hermit in reverse tends to say, don't try to mastermind and don't stick to yourself. Let yourself be social, let yourself be out in the world. And I think sort of this message is the answers are already there, so you can stop hunting around so hard. The mystery, you've been invited into the mystery of life, and it's now unfolding before you. So you don't need to just keep searching and searching and searching with the lantern. You're there, and maybe you've been searching for so long that you thought, I'm never going to get to the point where I feel like I'm finally breaking into the stuff that I really wanted to get into the area I wanted to be a part of, or the passions that I wanted to be a part of. But it really looks like you are now. And the 6 of Swords in many decks, or in the traditional Rider-Waite, is the person being sort of pushed away on a boat, away from sort of rougher waters to calmer ones. But in this one, she's dreaming away on the wings of a swan. And there are the ravens on the other swords. And I think what it's saying is to, rather than the thought that leave your cares and woes behind, which is sort of a 6 of Swords kind of thing, this is to let yourself dream. Don't worry, but let yourself dream, and let yourself dream big. You don't have to have the answers. You're probably not going to have the answers this week, but you are at that glorious stage of being a seed where everything is possible, and you can allow yourself to enjoy this time and to dream big, very big, because the mysteries of the universe are open to you. And as the magician, which you are this week, you can really take advantage of them, but you don't need to work that hard. You'll notice all these cards are air cards. They're all mental cards. Don't work that hard. Don't stress. Master your thoughts, because the thoughts and the mental patterns that you lay down this week will help pave the way for your future. So just try to keep your thoughts on the stuff that you love, on what's exciting, on what's forward thinking for you, because the more you do that, the more you're really setting the table for the future. So now let me pull the 2 perception action cards. I'm getting those from the Wildwood Tarot. Hold on just a sec while I do that. Okay, so I did want to briefly mention about the way the dice numbers sort of rolled out, that I ended up getting 3 4s, which is the Emperor asserting himself, the High Priestess twice, and the Lovers. So again, this complete blend of energies. Anyway, I wanted to throw that in there before I forgot. But I think this week is really about stepping in to your future as an honored guest. You don't need to worry about whether or not you made the list. You made the list. You're the guest of honor. All you have to do is step through the door. And all you have to do is sort of banish worry, because the magician is skilled. The magician has qualities and resources that make him able to do what he needs to do. You've already cultivated those. You've worked for those. And now you're going to get to sort of dazzle with the stuff that you can do. So try to be excited about that and step forward with enthusiasm. Anyway, so here are the perception action cards from the Wildwood Tarot, and I try to keep these random so I get a little bit of fun. Oh, 7 of Arrows. Perfect. Page of Arrows. Okay, so the 7 of Arrows, actually I'll turn this over so you can see the gorgeousness of it. That would typically be the 7 of Swords. This is, oh no, wait, is it 7 of Wands? I think it's 7 of Swords, okay. But it's the 7 of Arrows and it's insecurity. So obviously with everything that we've been talking about, the need is not to be insecure. And the reason not to be insecure is not because it's so easy to feel confident all the time, but because you've made it. You really have made it in some important threshold in your life. You've made it. And you are letting go of things you don't need. And I think it's a good idea to keep letting go of things you don't need, but you've made it and you're moving forward. So here's the Page of Arrows, the Wren. And what I like about this is if this is the Page of Swords and you can think of it, the person standing there with the birds flying around, it's a card with a great deal of activity. Wrens are a very active bird. Okay, don't be too active. And try not to be too mentally active. Like try not to be in a flurry. You know, no insecurity, no, hyperactivity. I think what's important this week is to let the things you do work with sympathetic magic, so to speak. If you can't clean your entire house like a lot of people do before the Chinese New Year, get rid of one box that's been driving you crazy. Let that stand in as a token. If you can't catch up everything that you've thought about doing, make one phone call you've been putting off. Let that be a token. Make one tiny step towards the things you want and away from the things you don't want. And let your magical power make those tiny steps, which are easy for you to do, which are not stressful or anxiety causing. And let your magical power turn those into greater ripples that will continue throughout the year and possibly throughout the rest of your life. This is a fantastic week. So, keep your head where your heart is. And have a wonderful one. And I will talk to you again for the weekend. Bye.